Born in the age of Japanese civil wars, Hyakimaru had his body stolen from him by demons, and he hunts for fragments of his body parts. The night is still as he reflects on his life, while sitting silently in the solitude of the darkness. Before him lies a lonely and unmarked tombstone. Although he is not one to show human emotions, the anguish can be felt in the air alone, and his solitude moment is interrupted by Biwamaru. The blind priest sees him in dismay and inquires as to know whose grave it was. Family. With only one word, he had brought the old man to tears. Biwamaru knows the pain of losing someone, so he sympathizes with Hyakimaru and says, "Your heart must be getting ripped into pieces." Hyakimaru senses that something is off with the old man. For starters, he wasn't carrying his biwa on his back, but he was with his cane sword. Thinking his trick was working, Biwamaru sneaks behind Hyakimaru to land a sneak attack on him. Biwamaru turns into a huge bug-like demon and tries to attack, but Hyakimaru remains unfazed by the attack, and in a split second, he runs his sword through the demon in several swings, and leaves it chopped into uncountable parts. Moments later, the real Biwamaru shows up and sees what has just taken place, but is not surprised by the fact that a demon had shapeshifted into him. Rather, he proceeds to ask Hyakimaru if he plans on leaving. Hyakimaru lets him know that, yes, he was planning to leave. Biwamaru thought that he would be slaughtering all the great demons that are left now that the demon's rest had come to an end. But with eyes that could make a man shiver, Hyakimaru says that he still plans to slaughter all of the demons, but he also has a new wish. Biwamaru is confused, so he proceeds to ask about the new wish. With his head held up at the night sky, he makes his proclamation that he himself is going to become completely human. The night is quiet as footsteps run fast across the darkness of a homeless shelter, and as though in search of something. In the midst of this darkness, a voice calls out, "You should stop," startling the young boy who had been running in the dark. He turns towards the direction of the voice to see an elderly white-bearded man leaning on a tree in the shadows. "Don't loiter around here," as though taunting him. The man warns the boy to go back home because it was time for a good boy to be in bed. But the stubborn lad persists by drawing out a pocket knife he's been concealing and disagrees by saying, "Who said I was a good boy?" Using this knife, the boy demands for information on the boss of the homeless, who goes by the name Hyakki. The white-bearded man denies knowing who Hyakki is, but the boy insists and calls him a liar because all homeless people were bound to know who Hyakki is. Their conversation is so loud that it causes all of the other homeless people to wake up from their sleep. Wanting to know what or who was causing a ruckus outside their tents, they all gathered around the boy and the man. They wonder what the boy was on about as they all see him with a knife. Even though he was surrounded, the boy doesn't drop his weapon. Rather, he sees it as an opportunity to meet their boss. By swinging his knife carelessly, he screams in demand of Hyakimaru. With a monstrous step, a large figure came forward. The large man was covered in bandages covering his entire face, leaving space for only one eye to be seen. The homeless people looked at him and called him Boss Hyakki. The boy had seen that had got the attention of the boss, and he looks into the death-glaring eyes of the boss, but sees that he doesn't seem to be in his right mind. "It's not Hyakki," he says in disappointment. They must have had just a similar name. Seeing that he wasn't the one he was looking for, the boy lowers the knife while the crowd goes back to bed. The white-bearded man could tell from the boy's expression that it clearly wasn't who the boy was looking for, so he tells him once more to go back home. Bingo! Different voice calls out into the night, and a mysterious man on suit appears into the scene. 2 bodyguards stood beside him. "Young master." The suspicious-looking man calls out to the boy, but he looks confused. The man tries to reach for the boy. The white-bearded man interrupts the reunion because, although he didn't understand the situation, the scenario seemed more like a kidnapping case, so he demands an explanation from the man. With a view of what was playing out, the homeless people gather back to defend one of their own and do the right thing an adult would do by keeping that boy safe. In order to avoid matters from escalating, the man in the suit tries to change the heat of the atmosphere and calm him down by offering a fat old load of cash to the homeless as a reward to whoever would bring back their young master, who had run away from home. They wondered if they were from a rich household or maybe the Yakuza, but they were so intrigued by the cash as they calculated that the money would be enough for them to get, rice and order wine. So without any more questions or hesitation, they look over at the boy, pinned him down, and struggle together to tie him with a rope. The man in the suit throws the reward money as he promises to the homeless people, making them fight as they struggle to pick it up. With the distraction he caused, the man seizes the opportunity to grip the boy with a single hand around his neck. The boy struggles while the man taunts him and flicks the boy's cap off his head, revealing that it wasn't a boy, but a girl. Someone save me! With no particular person in mind, she screams and begs for help, but her tears are only licked away by the man. Almost immediately, the white-bearded man sprints to her rescue by grabbing her and leaving a cut to the left side of the face of the man. The bearded man unties her and questions their reasoning for being after the girl. He directs the knife towards the three men in suit and points out that they weren't even human. He asks why they were after the brat, but the man in the suit exclaims in anger, "You dare scratch my lovely skin!" as he morphs from his human form, ripping the suit in shreds and exposing his true identity as a snake-type demon. Monster! The sight of the demon horrifies the homeless people as they scream in fear. Angry that his skin had been torn and his true nature revealed, the demon launches an attack at the white-bearded man, but he leaps and dodges the attack, causing his beard to disguise to fall off and unveiling him as Hyakimaru. Seeing that the small knife he had used was now useless, Hyakimaru throws the knife away and stands to fight without a weapon. The demon tries to attack again, but to Hyakimaru's surprise, the boss Hyaki comes to their rescue and tries to deflect the tail of the monster but gets split in half. Hyakimaru reaches into the bottom half of Hyaki and brings out his katana. That blade! The demon sees the blade and instantly recognizes the wielder, but it's too late, as Hyakimaru splits the demon's head with the sword. That's right, I'm Hyaki. The girl is in shock as she sees the man she's been searching for right in front of her, with a smile on his face. The bottom part of the fake Hyaki that was split in half melts and molds into a small bulldog. I'll call him this little fella Maru. And with that, Hyaki plans to change locations because of all that's happened. He tells the girl that he can see she's got a lot of questions to ask him. Finally, finding the man that she's been in search of, she yells that he is the mortal enemy of her parents. Hyaki is confused as he doesn't understand what she means. Before he can utter another word, she launches toward an attempt to kill him. And that's it for the first chapter of Dororo Verse. Subscribe to our channel for more chapters, and if you want more videos like this one, then just comment Hyaki down below. And I'll see you next time.